Thanks for joining us on Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. Stu, Rich and Mike Wood here to take you through the last leg of the Rosehill card this autumn carnival. And well, we've got two Group 1s this week. It's a BMW and we've got the Viner in there as well, but it's a bit of a last chance saloon for some of these horses to get into the Doncaster in the Prelude and then through the Tulloch 2 into the Derby.
Yeah, great racing again at Rosehill on Saturday, and so tough for some of these horses on another bog track. Horses like Prize Icon, who couldn't handle it last time. The rest of the autumn doesn't look too good for him. He might get scratched, and a couple of good races before the quaddie starts, including the Vinery, with a couple of classy types, including John Snow and Akator, so watch out for them.
Yeah, Akator was one of those we got stuck into the other week. Hopefully a bit of improvement there, but Ginger Nuts last week, you happy with that? That was a big run, a lot of orange hats out there.
Yeah, he loved the wet track. He surged home. He won a Group 1 there. He could win another Group 1. He's such a good Tarby type. And Tulip, she looped the field in the slipper. She was enormous, and 1,400 metres, she could yet emulate her sire Piero and win a Group 1 just like he did. He won the Triple Crown.
That's it. Well, it is a BMW. There's been a few upsets over the years. We had Currata Storm, Fiumicino, Cedarburg was there as well. But let's get stuck into it. First leg of the quaddie this weekend. It's the BMW. It's the Group 1. A real slog in the mud this year. Have a look down from the top of the page and you're seeing the breeding countries. You've got the Kiwis, the Brits, the Germans, the Irish. Even the Aussie breds are in this one. But look, it's the Derby Oaks, the Caulfield Cup winners, the best staying race of the year so far. Humidor and Jamaica continue their rivalry. And how about our Ivanhoe? Showed that he loved the mud last week, but pulled up lame, and the reports are he's still on the men this week.
Well, yeah, the key factors is all about finding the right type, and for the BMW, I think we're looking for an off-roader rather than a BMW 7 Series saloon, aren't we? And let's see which of these horses are suited to the heavy track. Obviously, the heavy track is a key factor for us on Saturday over the 2,400 metres. We think there'll be a strong tempo too, with Lasquetti Spirit going forward. So surge is a key factor, stamina over the 2,400 metres, and reliability. A couple of question marks on a couple of these horses on Saturday.
Well, such a great staying field. Let's have a look at the market for this. But the last few years, I mentioned there were a few boilovers before this, but the last few years the favourites have really come to the fore, and here it's really these four horses under $5 that are dominating the market. We've got our Ivanhoe there after his big performance last week, $3.70. Jamaica, a bit of money there today into $3.80. There's Humidor, Jamaica's rival, and Tavago, well, there's the AJC Derby winner of last year, so really competitive race, but it's our Ivanhoe in the mud again that the punters are after.
Yeah, such a cracking staying race, isn't it? The best staying race, like you said, Stu, and what a great race we've got in the stall. And let's stick to some wet track form. We're not going to look at the Australian Cup with Jamaica and Humidor because it was a dry track. Let's go to a couple of wet track replays, starting with our Ivanhoe. First up, 7 days ago on an absolute bog. He's coming second to the outside here, just in front of Hartnell, in sort of the check colours. And what do you think of this run, Stu?
Oh, big finish. That's what I can say. We were there. We saw it. We really heard that he'd love the mud, but this is his first chance to really prove it.
Yeah, absolutely proved it this day, didn't he? Surged clear of fantastic horses, including Hartnell. Some form references to mention. The United States has Humidor forms. That's good for the winner here. And Antonio Giuseppe has a form line that puts Tavago's form reference similar to the winner, which is an interesting stat for Saturday.
Yeah, kept running away from Hartnell there too. Love the win. Let's take you back to last year's Derby. This was Tavago. We know this horse loves the mud, and this is a horse that absolutely smashes the line.
Well, this is a huge win in a massive classic race, the 3-year-old Derby, and he was big odds this day, wasn't he? He's not the best looking type in the yard. He's a bit of a lean, lanky type, but when he gets up over trip, when he gets a soft track, this guy can stay. Surges clear from the pack, leaving behind Jamaica in his wake, who's a tough filly, isn't she?
Absolutely, so tough. And that just makes this win so much better, running away from a horse like that.
Yeah, it reminds you of his last start win. He surged clear to win in that start, and really good stayer.
Well, it's Key Factors time here, Mike. We're looking for the gold, heavy track. It's been that way all through the carnival. We've got it again.
Well, yeah, most of them handle the heavy okay these days. Exospheric, Libran, small question marks. R. Ivanhoe, we know he loves it. Tavago should be okay. His one heavy track failure was 2 starts ago, and he got so much mud on his face if you watch the replay. Across to Surge, look, a lot of them hit the line. Maybe that's a bit negative for Jamaica. Maybe we're being unfair, but her 2,400 metre wins have been fair to steady tempos on good tracks. She did knock up in the Melbourne Cup, but she is reliable. She does try hard. Big question marks on R. Ivanhoe, potentially lame, still getting healed. And Humidor, he's only been right-handed once, and he hung out really badly in the New Zealand Derby.
Yeah, well, I love Jamaica, and I'm not sure how you pot a Caulfield Cup winner. Let's have a look at the overall ratings and see what we get when we add in the form. And, well, there's the Derby winner on top, Tavago, from our Ivanhoe, and Jamaica not too far in behind, but it is Tavago and our Ivanhoe on top.
Yeah, 2 clear top raters from the rest of the pack, and 2 big wins last start. Choosing between those 2, there's one we can rely on, there's one we're not sure about. He's in the garage getting fixed up, like we said. So Tavago is the best bet for us. Definitely an each-way play. The strong tempo on the wet track's really going to suit him. He will be surging to the line. He will smash the line. So each way is a great play. Lots of horses you can have for value. Squirty Spirit, Avdullah back on, rolling in front, 3 lengths clear. She could do the Oaks all over again.
There's a look at the first leg of the quaddie, and it's last year's winner, Tovago, to start. Let's have a look at the second leg. It's the Vinery Stud Stakes, another Group 1. Great race, this one. Has thrown up some prices over the last few years as well. We had Single Gaze and then Fenway prior, and there's a horse that beat Winx before she was a freak, don't forget. Waller's Fox Play, well, that was a huge flashing light run, and you'd think that was a run the punters might overreact to here. Kiwi Ability Osa loves the mud, then Terrible in the Coolmore, and Dawn Wall Louboutin. How good was that ride from Dawn Wall? And Single Gaze, that's the race it came through last year.
Yeah, same form reference for Dawn Wall. Single Gaze, how brave is she? These fillies will need to be brave over 2,000 metres, even though the tempo's not that strong. Such a bog track, so important for these fillies to be able to get through the 2,000 metres on a bog track. So obviously the key factors have to be heavy track, they have to be distance, and scope. 3-year-olds on the rise, we always say on the key factors, factor in that improvement.
Well, let's have a look at the market here for the Group 1 Vinery. And, well, as Fox Play hit the line last night, I just thought, oh, gee, she just got to be unders next up. Had a look at this, $3.40, unders for me, but is favourite. Lability Osa, loves the mud, $4.80 there. Dawn Wall and Louboutin, similar odds, $5.50 and $6.50. But Harlow Gold, here's one that we know absolutely loves to stay. And there's really a clear top 5 here in the market.
Yeah, depth in this race, quality in this race, and a lot of improvers. Let's have a look at a couple of replays and have a look at that Kembla Grange form line, which was so important last year. And have a look at Louboutin in the light colours in the lead, and Dawn Wall's second last on the rails in sort of the navy blue and white, just weaving up with the white cap now. Yeah,
it was Louboutin hitting the front here, thinking she'd go away, but this ride by McAvoy, straight up the rails. How good was this one?
Yeah, great ride, great horse, back in distance, stays on late. Look, she's a fast net rock, but she sort of throws to a dam side a bit, doesn't she? A bit more athletic, a sculpted frame, plenty of stamina. On the way up, there's a twinkle in Waller's eye when he talks about this horse. She's a good one.
And look at this, gap back to third. So big win there. Could start a little rivalry here, these two. We're going to have a look at Harlow Gold. This is a horse we know we can stay, but this is over a mile here, Mike.
Yeah, we're looking for soft track runs. That's why we looked at the Kembla run as well, because it was a soft track run, just seeing if that favourite could stay. Harlow Gold, second from the inside in the blue and white. This is against the boys on a really soft track. It's sort of more soft than it looks on face value. Strong to the line. We know she can stay, and based on that performance, she should get through the wet too.
Yeah, smash the line there. Let's have a look at the key factors here. Scope, obviously, with these horses on the rise.
Yeah, massively important factor. And look, most of these horses, these fillies, are in the race for a reason. They actually look all right. Heavy track, Fox Play and Labella Diosa, we know they handle it. Across the distance, maybe some more horses on the rise can actually get the 2,000 metres better though. Fox Play, a neat, smaller, really genuine type. Maybe these bigger other fillies could say the 2,000 metres better. And maybe because she's so genuine, she doesn't have the scope of others. Dawn Wall, Nurse Kitchen, even horses that could really improve on a wet track up to 2,000 metres.
Oh, big ticks there for a lot of runners. And apart from Fox Play there, the favourite, I did think she was too short. Let's have a look at the overall ratings here. I'm doubting she'll be on top. No, it is Dawn Wall on top. Harlow Gold right there, and Labella Diosa, well, she ticked a few boxes. Mike, what's wrong with her?
Well, yeah, she did tick a few boxes 2 starts ago, but she crossed a few last start as well, didn't she? She was horrible in the Coolmore, and question marks on Fox Play makes you go against the first favourite, against the second favourite, which leaves us with the third and fourth on top. 2,000 metres wet track. We hope they get through the wet. We're not sure until we see it. Dawn Wall on top. The twinkle in Waller's eye. There's a twinkle in our eye as well. She's the one that we like. And Harlow Gold, she did it all on her own in the Oaks behind the Squirty Spirit we talked about. She's a real stayer. She'll come in on Saturday.
All right, Dawn Wall there for the Vinery. That's a look at the first 2 legs of the quaddie this weekend at Rosehill. But stay tuned after the break. We'll hit up the Emancipation and also the 4th leg. See you then. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. We've knocked off the first 2 legs of the quaddie. Now it's time for the Group 2 Emancipation. And this race, Mike, we've got Dixie Blossoms, Daisy Doom, Zanbar, First Seal. They're all coming through the Coolmore. And a bit of a trend developing here. A few years back with runners in Sky Rush, Catkins, they've done the double. Zanbar, she won it last year. Can she go back to back?
It's a great stat, Stu, isn't it? Back-to-back winners in this race, and it's a type of race, it's set weights that sort of trainers set their classy horses for, don't they? Group 2, 1,500 metres, once again, fed a steady tempo, conditions wet, like we said before, really wet, possible rain on Saturday afternoon, and the bias won't matter as much. It's all about whether your horse gets through the mud. So across the 3 key factors for this 1,500 metre race, heavy track all day, weight, it's a set weights event, so the classy types are suited. and Stage of Preparation. Some of them are second up. You want a horse that's fit in this tough track on Saturday.
Well, let's have a look at the market here for the Emancipation, and it's really interesting for me to see if there's any money outside of that Coolmore form. But look, it's Daisy Doom on top, $4.80, Dixie Blossoms, $5 there. First Seal, $8.50, Zanbar, that's all Coolmore form. But then we've got Extensible, Zenalicious is there as well. But look, it is that Coolmore form on top, Mike, and let's see if that's the strongest.
Well, yes, the Group 1 horse is obviously going to be the good horses, but we're not going to look at that. We'll look at some wet track form again. This is Dixie Blossoms before she went to the Coolmore, and Zanbar before she went to the Coolmore. Dixie Blossoms is leading in the pink and white, under a hold from Tim Clark. Zanbar 3 wide, getting urged along. And what do you make of this final 350 metres, Stu?
Oh, I know you were happy. You had a good pun on her this day, but whoosh, away she goes from the front this day, all importantly. Massive, massive win. Very impressed.
Yeah, I'd rather you talk about it than me because I'm biased, yeah, but massive win. Look, this is the first time she's been on a heavy. I know the bias was in her favour, but that's enormous. Zanbar, though, had some form lines around her. Third up last prep, they finished alongside each other in the mire, and third up last year, obviously, she won Zanbar this race.
All right, let's have a look at Extensible, and this became a little match race with a horse called Antonio Giuseppe, who, well, let's face it, wasn't as favoured as what he is now.
Well, we didn't know how good Antonio Giuseppe was back then, and he was heavily, heavily back this day. And about now, if Extensible is a leader, and about now, if you're on Antonio Giuseppe looming up, you're a little bit worried. She had more weight than him, and she fought so hard.
Yeah, these two just went away from the others. Giuseppe got the, that hand in there in time, but Extensible battled on. That's what you like to see.
Yeah, really tough win, or tough second.
Let's have a look at the key factors here. Stage of prep, so many of these absolutely primed after the Coolmore.
Well, we wanted to talk about that during the replay, didn't we? Extensible was fourth up during that replay. We think she loves a heavy track, but on Saturday she's only second up, which is going to be tough for her. A few of them like the heavy. We know Dixie Blossoms and Zanbar are proven on it. Daisy Doom should be okay, but she's a smaller type. She hasn't seen it yet. Dixie Blossoms and First Seal the best weighted, along with most of the favourites. And Dixie Blossoms, 3 gold bars. Stage of preparation as well.
Well, Dixie gets more gold there than Daisy. So how are we going to split these two stablemates when we factor in the form? Let's have a look at the overall ratings here. And yep, Dixie gets the edge from Zanbar right there and Daisy Doom. But look, that is really this Coolmore form standing up again.
Yeah, the Coolmore form stands up. Extensible a threat, like we said, if she was fitter. But out of those 3 on top, 2 of them are proven on the heavy, 1 of them's not. Let's go for the 2 that are proven on heavy tracks, starting with my personal favourite mare, which I'll be backing again on Saturday. I promise the analysis isn't biased. Dixie Blossoms on top each way. The wide barrier shouldn't matter on this track on Saturday. She'll be really tough to beat. And Zanbar, like we said, she's underrated, third up. She's primed for this on Saturday.
All right, Dixie Blossoms on top from Zanbar there in the Emancipation. From the Group 1s and Group 2s, we go back to the benchmark 88 to round out the quaddie. But look, we've got the Godolphin runner here, Handfast on number 1 in the ratings. But bog track late in the day, 8 of 11 of these horses, I think, first or second up. It's a bit of a minefield here for punters.
Really tough race and really tough to bet early, isn't it? Because you think there'll be so many fresh horses potentially scratched on a testing track. A fair tempo with Valier rolling forward with a lightweight. And once again, the bog track we talked about all day on Saturday. The bias won't matter as much. Across the 3 key factors, there's heavy again. Rosehill. Which horse will like the big track compared to the tight tracks, other tracks in Sydney? And stage of preparation, even more horses have fitness worries in this race on Saturday than the last race.
Well, let's have a look at the market here. It wasn't really on my punting list from Wednesday, but let's bring it up. Handfast, well, look, he's got the happy clapper form now, $4.20 on top. Mr. Individual, $6 there. Good to see Team Corson's in town. Bring Luck, we know she loves the mud, $7. Ancient History, one of the interesting imports in the race. Serene Majesty, $8. So it's actually quite competitive, this race, Mike.
Yeah, really competitive race, and the story is some really classy types on big weights against some lower class types, sort of 7 or 8 kilograms below them. Let's have a look at a sort of a classier horse here. This is Handfast in the Godolphin Blue, coming 6th or 7th, just on the rails, taking a little sneaky run with James McDonald, who's obviously not riding with us this weekend.
No.
Serene Majesty peels out wider from a similar spot in the yellow and white. A better ride on Handfast, but both pretty decent runs, Stu.
Yeah, pretty decent runs, and we're going to watch Handfast here in the blue, just get through this gap, but I really like the way this horse just finished off this race. This is over the championships last year as well.
Yeah, really classy race, listed level race. Handfast, a big win. Serene Majesty not too bad out wider with more weight. She did beat Handfast next start at Hawkesbury, and they've got similar form ratings overall, so don't dismiss her based on that run.
All right, a listed run there, and another one here. This is Voilier at Randwick, 1400, but again, listed stakes.
Well, yeah, we're looking for heavy track runs where we can. This is why we pulled this one out from about a year ago or even more. Voilier's first ever effort was 4th to Japanese Me on a heavy. This is his 2nd ever heavy track run. He's leading here in the pink. Zinzanetti comes wider on equal weights and gets the better than him, but he fights on really well. He's got, what, 7 or 8 kilograms less than Handfast on Saturday, Stu?
Yeah, good old Zinzanetti just running past. But no, I see what you're saying. Valia is sticking on there along the inside.
Yeah, really good heavy tracker and a solid type. He seems to finish 3 lengths away from group horses and 3 lengths away from midweek horses too.
All right, time to find the gold. Having a look here, not too much across this page.
Hard to get inspired, isn't it? So which horses love the heavy? We're not really sure. There's a lot of question marks on Handfast and Ancient History. Both of their heavy track runs they haven't placed. Bring Luck, we do know, loves heavy track, and Valier, we just saw that. Across the track, some question marks on most of them. Be Like Dad's are definitely a risk at Rosehill. He's a neat, agile type that likes tighter tracks. Across the stage of preparation, look, Handfast is fit, Valier is fit. Some of the others aren't fit, so it's a big risk for them, first or second up.
Oh, you've said it. This race is hard. No gold there. No real vibes for me. Could be anything here. Let's have a look at these ratings. Well, look, it's Voilier on top. But hang on, 1 win from 16. Please tell me you're kidding. You got this horse on top.
I hope we're kidding, aren't we? But the numbers tell us he's on top. He's not a horse you want to back, but he is on top there from Handfast and Brilliant Luck, which we're sure will run well. But the claim's so important. The heavy track stats are so important. The winning record's obviously important as well. So when we're thinking about our bet, let's just back him a place, Valier. He'll be on pace. He'll be sticking on. The weights are good for him. It's such a hard race to find a winner. He's decent odds for a place, so not a bad play at all. And you have to go on some vibes in this race as well. Spider Coda almost beat Religify a year ago. Doesn't mind the heavy. Anthony Cummings and Edward Cummings can land a plunge first up, so he might be a sneaky one too. All
right, nothing wrong with a place bet to round it out. So let's have a look at this quarter. It's a big one at Rosehill. It's all been about the mutters. Let's find another quaddie full of mutters here, Mike.
Yeah, hopefully these are full of mutters. We've got the 2 top raters in race 6, Tavago and R. Ivanhoe. We pulled out Exospheric and Lesguetti Spirited odds. Across to race 7, similar strategy there. We've got the 2 top raters, Harlow Gold and Dawn Wall, and pulled out Nurse Kitchen, who could really relish the wet track, and Louboutin, who's so solid. Race 8, we think's bread and butter. We think that's easy. We've got the 3 top raters from the Coolmore. Race 9, we think's far from bread and butter. Really tough race. Stick in some roughies, including Spider Coda.
So no Jamaica or Humidor. Ooh, is that a big pot against the Melbourne form?
It is a big pot, isn't it? Hopefully Humidor's hanging out on the turn and hopefully Jamaica peaks, but they could both win. Really tough race.
All right, well, that's it from us here at the Race Guides Key Factors. It's going to be a huge weekend out there at Rosehill again this weekend. Race Guides available from 9 a.m. Friday, theraceguide.com.au. It's going to be full of profiles. It's going to all be updated Saturday morning. It's everything you need. But that's it from us. Hope you jag a piece of the quaddie this weekend, and cover up. It's going to be a wet one out there at Rosehill.
Cheers. Good.